Best exercises for pregnant women. The excitement or sheer panic you felt when you saw those two blue or pink lines appear is likely something you'll never forget. And now that you're pregnant, you might be wondering what needs to change and what can stay the same. The good news? Staying active tops the list of things to keep for the next 9 months. Whether you're looking to continue your current workout routine or start a new one, we've got you covered. From cardio and strength training to stretching and core exercises, here's everything you need to know about staying fit during your pregnancy. Exercises to do in the first trimester of pregnancy. The first 3 months of pregnancy can be a wild ride of emotions. From elation and pure joy to concern, worry, and even fear, you begin to realize that you're responsible for nourishing, growing, and keeping this tiny soon-to-be human being safe and healthy. As long as you're not considered a high-risk pregnancy, physical therapist Heather Jeffcoat, DPT, says you can continue with your regular exercise routine in the first trimester. The foundation of a well-rounded prenatal fitness routine should include at least 150 minutes of cardiovascular activity each week and 2 to 3 days of strength training exercises that target the major muscle groups. It should also focus on specific exercises that help make pregnancy easier and prepare you for labor and childbirth. It may seem far off, but it will be here before you know it. One area of importance, says Jeffcoat, is to work on body awareness to prepare for changes in your posture. Doing an exercise like the pelvic curl is a great way to begin working on spinal mobility and strengthening the abdominal muscles that will support your belly as it grows, she says. Pelvic curl. Lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the ground, about hip width apart. Take a deep breath in to prepare, then exhale as you tuck your pelvis, your hips, so that you're making an impression of your spine on the floor. Keep that tucked position as you continue the exhale and roll through the movement so that you are lifting your spine out of that impression, one vertebra at a time. Stop when you reach your shoulder blades. Inhale at the top of the movement, then exhale as you fold your body back down, placing one vertebra at a time back onto the floor until you get to your starting position on the back of your pelvis, your hips, as many people will refer to them as. Do 12 to 15 reps. For an added challenge, bring your legs all the way together. Pelvic brace. Do this throughout pregnancy as long as you don't have pelvic floor symptoms, such as painful intercourse or urinary urgency. Lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the ground, about hip width apart. Place your pelvis and lower back into a neutral position. To find this, make sure you're resting on the back of your pelvis and creating a small space in your lower back. Your back should not be pressed into the floor. Inhale to prepare, then exhale to perform a Kegel contraction by gently closing the openings, the urethra, the vagina, and anus. As you are performing this contraction, notice how your lower abdominal muscles want to work with that. Slightly draw the lower abs in with the Kegel. Inhale, relax the abs and pelvic floor. Exhale, repeat contraction. Do 2 sets of 8 to 15 repetitions of 3 to 5 second holds, once or twice a day. Kneeling push-ups. This move targets core and upper body strengthening together. Lie flat on your stomach, then push up onto your hands and knees, keeping your knees behind your hips. Pull in your abs, the pelvic brace, and then slowly lower your chest toward the floor as you inhale. Exhale as you press back up. Start with 6 to 10 and gradually work up to 20 to 24 reps. Squats. The first trimester is also an ideal time to get squatting. If you have access to the gym, you can also use the leg press machine. Squats, especially bodyweight squats, can be done throughout your entire pregnancy. Plus, since squats strengthen all the muscles in your lower body, including the quads, glutes, and hamstrings, Jeffcoat says keeping these muscles strong is a great way to protect your back, so you use your legs instead of your back when lifting. Stand in front of a couch with your back facing the couch. Begin with feet just wider than hip width apart. Use the couch as a guide to ensure proper form. Squat down like you're about to sit down on the couch, but come back up just as your thighs start to touch it. Make sure you take 5 seconds to go down and 3 seconds to come back up. Exhale as you squat, inhale as you stand. Do 2 sets of 15 to 20 reps. Bicep curls. This simple yet effective move is another top pick throughout pregnancy. Jeff Coate says bicep curls are a key move to add to your workouts, since you need to prep your arms for repeatedly lifting and holding your baby. Grab 5 to 10 pound dumbbells and stand with your feet slightly wider than your hips and your knees slightly bent. Exhale as you slowly bend your elbows, bringing the dumbbells toward your shoulders. Inhale and slowly lower the weights back down. Take 3 seconds to lift the dumbbells and 5 seconds to lower. Do 2 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. Some variations and additional strength training moves to include in the first trimester, according to Brittany Robles, MD, CPT, include lunges with weight, glute bridge if you're experiencing any pelvic pain or have a history of pelvic pain with pregnancies. You can also add ball squeezes in between your thighs during the glute bridges. Standard push-ups. When it comes to what you should avoid during the first trimester, Robles says to put your high-intensity interval training, HIIT, on hold since it's an easy way to exhaust yourself early in pregnancy. Robles also recommends avoiding any exercise where you can experience trauma, such as contact sports. Exercises to do in the second trimester of pregnancy. Once the reality sets in that you're in this for the long haul, you may notice a feeling of calmness and even an increase in energy over the next several weeks. Many women say this is the trimester where they feel the best, which is why it's an excellent time to focus on your fitness routine. That said, Robles does point out that since the uterus is getting bigger, you do need to be a bit more careful with physical activity. Activities to avoid during the second trimester, according to Robles, include any high-impact exercise that involves jumping, running, balance, or exhaustion. You also want to avoid any exercise that has you lying on your back for extended periods. In addition to the exercises in the first trimester, consider adding some variations to your squat, such as narrow squats, single leg squats, as well as wide stance squats. Incline push-ups, which target the chest, triceps, and shoulders, are another move to add during this trimester. Now that the core foundation has been established, Kate says training the core as the abdomen expands is a much easier concept. And with things beginning to shift and grow even more at this time, she often recommends that moms-to-be continue to work on stability strength with an extra focus on the inner thighs and glutes. Incline push-ups. Stand facing a ledge or railing and place your hands shoulder-width apart on the surface. Step your body back into a standing plank position with your back in a straight line. Bend your arms and slowly lower your chest toward the railing or ledge. Straighten your arms to return to the starting position. Do 2 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions. Hip flexor and quadricep stretch. Due to postural changes, Jeff Coate says the second trimester is the ideal time to develop a stretching routine that focuses on the hip flexors, quadriceps, lower back, gluteals, and calves. Because of your changing center of gravity, the belly tends to fall forward, creating shortened hip flexor muscles. This exercise allows you to safely stretch during pregnancy. Go into a half kneeling position on the floor. Place your right knee on the floor and your left foot in front of your left foot flat on the floor. Keeping your posture nice and tall, lunge toward your left foot until you feel a stretch in the front of your right hip and thigh. Hold for 30 seconds, ease off, and then repeat 2 more times. Switch sides and repeat. Sideline leg lifts to prepare for your changing center of gravity. It's important to get the muscles that help with balance and assist in pelvic stabilization stronger. Lie on your right side with both knees bent and stacked on top of one another. Slightly lift your right side off of the floor to create a small gap between your waist and the floor. This also levels your pelvis. Straighten your left leg and angle it slightly in front of you. Rotate your hips so that your toes point down toward the floor. Exhale as you take about 3 seconds to lift your leg. Inhale for 3 seconds back down. As you lift your leg, make sure you don't lose that little gap you created between your waist and the floor. Do 2 sets of 8 to 15 repetitions on each side. Mermaid stretch. As your baby grows, it can start to create pressure on your diaphragm and ribs, which can be painful. Sit on the ground with both of your knees bent or folded and your feet facing to the right. Raise your left arm straight to the ceiling as you inhale, then exhale and side bend your torso toward the right. The stretch should be felt on the left side in this example. Hold for 4 slow, deep breaths. This would be the direction to stretch if you experience discomfort on the left side. Reverse directions for discomfort on the right side. To reduce the risk of this occurring, start stretching both directions during the second trimester. Exercises to do in the third trimester of pregnancy. You'll notice a slowdown, if not an abrupt halt at times during the third trimester, as your body begins to prepare for labor and childbirth. This is a great time to focus on cardiovascular activities and keep up your mobility and abdominal strength with walking, swimming, prenatal yoga, Pilates, pelvic floor exercises, bodyweight moves. These help to keep your upper and lower body muscles strong. So this is the end of our today's video. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.